Hello again, Cathy McLeish here to talk about alcoholism and to help raise a little bit of awareness about the disease. If you're dealing with an alcoholic, if you feel you have a drinking problem, why would you listen to me? I am in recovery 37 years. I got sober when I was 27, and I have always been a part of a program, a part of a learning process to learn more about the disease of alcoholism, what it does to us physically, mentally, spiritually, and how we can kind of work against those factors to have a really good life without alcohol. Now, the myths don't help us. There are a lot of myths going around, and the more we understand the truth about alcoholism, the better we can deal with whatever our problem is or the person in our life that we care about. Myth number one, can I sober a drunk up with hot coffee and a cold shower? Truth, no, we cannot. When we are intoxicated, we have alcohol in our bloodstream, and the only way that it's going to come out is through time. So yes, we can give a drunk hot coffee and a cold shower, and at best we'll have a wide awake drunk. But don't mistakenly put them in a car to drive because they have the same amount of alcohol in their system as if you had done nothing. So an alcoholic, a drunk, anybody that has been drinking cannot be sobered up with hot coffee and a cold shower. Myth number two. The person in my life doesn't drink all the time, so I know they have a problem, but they can't be an alcoholic. The truth is, yes, they can. An alcoholic does not have to drink all the time, all day long, like I did towards the end. We have all different kinds of drinking patterns. We could be a binge drinker and we only drink once every other week, once a month, only on certain occasions or times of the year. We can also drink sporadically through the week and then have episodes on the weekend that are always catastrophic. So it is more important to see what happens when the person puts alcohol into their system than the regularity of how often they drink. So the myth is, can't be an alcoholic if they don't drink all the time. And the truth is, yes, they can. What is more important to notice is what happens when they put alcohol in their system. And if it is always or most often catastrophic, then they have a problem with alcohol. Myth number three, alcoholics just don't have any willpower. That's their problem. The truth is, yes, they have a lot of willpower. Oftentimes, alcoholics will try and fail, try and fail, try and fail. And what they come up against are the symptoms of this disease that work against them. So it is not the fact that they don't have willpower. In a lot of other areas of their life, they're very successful. They are very intelligent and sometimes hardworking, stand-up people. But when it comes to their alcoholism, they cannot quit with willpower. They need to have some sort of support system in place, and they need to change their thinking. So there are a few things that have to happen besides just having a strong will before the alcoholic can be free from alcoholic drinking. Myth number four, I'm only hurting myself. The alcoholic will say, I'm only hurting myself. And the truth is, what we all know, that is impossible. The alcoholic is hurting their extended family, their immediate family, the people that they work with. They're hurting society as a whole for what we have to suffer or pay for because of the alcoholic and the way they take care of their health or not. The accident that they may have with a vehicle and everybody else's insurance rises just a little bit. So the alcoholic cannot say truthfully that they only hurt themselves because in their little bubble, it may appear that way, but around them, the alcoholic is like a pebble in the pond. And when they are living in this negative way, everything in their environment and their extended environment is being affected negatively. The alcoholic myth is, I'm only hurting myself, and the truth is, the alcoholic harms so many people other than themselves, and often they don't realize it until they get on the other side of their drinking. Myth number five, this is a tough one. Alcohol is a moral failing. It is a choice and it is a moral failing. The alcoholic is just a bad person. Now the truth is, the alcoholic has a disease. And because they have a disease, when they want to stop drinking, it is next to impossible for them to do that without getting help. So, is it a moral failing? Is it a choice that they're making because they are bad people and they continue to do bad, wrong things? No. The stigma of alcoholism sometimes keeps them there because of the shame and the guilt that is connected to that disease, and saying, I think I have a problem, and going publicly to get some help. That may keep them in this disease of alcoholism. But the truth is, it is not a moral failing. It is not a bad moral choice. It is a disease. Myth number 6, alcoholism is only physical. And if you fix the physical part of it, you're going to be okay. Now, the truth is, alcoholism is physical, it's psychological, it's spiritual, it's environmental. There are a lot of areas that alcoholism affects and that cause the alcoholic to drink. So just stopping drinking, cold turkey, that's how you get these people you don't even want to be around. An alcoholic actually has to put down the drink, and then they have to do other work on themselves that will keep them from going back to the drink. So the myth is that it's only a physical problem, and the truth is it affects a lot of areas of the alcoholic's life that need to be addressed in order to stay in recovery. Myth number 7, sometimes we think as a society that if we drink beer, if we drink wine, we're never going to become an alcoholic. It's only the people that drink hard liquor that end up with booze in the bag and under the bridge. And the truth is, anything that has alcohol in it can become addictive. And someone can start with beer, they can start with wine and end up on the other side. You can even drink only wine and be an alcoholic. So the myth is that I'd have to drink hard liquor in order to be an alcoholic. And the truth is, anything that has alcohol in it, any alcoholic beverage, can take somebody from being a social drinker to being an alcoholic. And we're going to wind up here with myth number 8, and that is, if I relapse, then I'm a failure. And oftentimes in recovery, I have seen more often than not that people relapse 1 or 2 times, maybe several times, before they get on a steady road to recovery. Now, is relapse necessary? I am not saying that. A lot of people don't ever relapse, and they take that last drink and they're on their way. That is my story, but that is not a story that elevates me above anybody else in recovery. It is just my story. Oftentimes, whatever the experience is, when a person relapses, teaches them something they may not have learned any other way. So it is actually another part of their success story. So to think that if somebody relapses, you throw in the towel and they're a failure and they're never going to get sober is so far from the truth. An alcoholic has a chance every time they put down the drink that it will be their last drink. So we should always support and encourage that effort to stop drinking, because we never know when it will be their last. And the best scenario is that when we put down the drink, we pick something else up. We pick up a plan of recovery, a group of people that are doing the same thing that we're trying to do, that are successful, and a program of some sort that is going to give us some healthier thinking, help us to make better choices about the people, the places, and the things in our life that are going to support the journey that we're starting out on. So thanks for listening to the myths and the truths about alcoholism. It is so helpful to know the facts when we're trying to deal with the alcoholic in our life, or when we're trying to look at our own drinking and understand why we are the way we are, why we're making these choices, and why we can't seem to get on the other side to a better life. We can, but it's not going to happen by luck. It will happen by taking these facts in, admitting that these are some of the truths about our own life, and then reaching out and asking for help.